The rain hammered against the floor-to-ceiling windows of the executive suite as Victoria Sterling stood motionless, her perfectly manicured fingers wrapped around a crystal tumbler of scotch. At 42, she commanded respect in every room. She entered CEO of Sterling Industries, a tech empire worth $12 billion, and known throughout Silicon Valley as the woman who never backed down from a fight. But tonight, her empire felt like it was crumbling beneath her feet. The private investigator's photographs lay scattered across her mahogany desk like pieces of a shattered mirror, each one a devastating blow to the life she'd built. Her husband of 15 years, Marcus Sterling, wasn't just having an affair, he was flaunting it. The images showed him at exclusive restaurants, luxury hotels, and private jets with his secretary, Amanda Chun, a 28-year-old brunette. With ambitious eyes and a calculating smile, Victoria's jaw tightened as she studied the most damning photo. Marcus and Amanda kissing passionately outside the Ritz-Carlton. Amanda's left hand clearly displaying a diamond ring that rivaled Victoria's own wedding band. The timestamp showed it was taken just 3 days ago, while Victoria had been in Tokyo closing a multi-million-dollar acquisition deal. The office door burst open without warning, and Marcus strode in with his characteristic arrogance, his silver hair perfectly styled despite the late hour. At 50, he still carried himself like the college football star he'd once been, though his athletic build had softened around the edges from too many business lunches and whiskey nightcaps. "Victoria, darling, you're working late again," he said smoothly, loosening his Italian silk tie. "I thought we could discuss our weekend plans," Amanda suggested. He stopped mid-sentence when he noticed the photographs spread across her desk. His face drained of color, but he quickly recovered, straightening his shoulders with defiant confidence. "I see you've been busy," he said, his voice steady despite the circumstances. "Look, Victoria, we need to talk about where this marriage is heading." Victoria turned slowly, her emerald eyes cold as winter steel. "Where it's heading," she repeated softly, her voice carrying the dangerous calm that her business rivals had learned to fear. "I think these pictures make that quite clear, don't they?" Marcus had the audacity to smile, that same charming grin that had won her over at Harvard Business School 20 years ago. "You're a brilliant woman, Victoria, but you've always been married to your work first. Amanda understands what I need, in a way that what you need." Victoria's voice rose slightly, though she maintained her composure. She'd built her reputation on never showing weakness, never losing control, even when her world was imploding. "What you need is a reality check, Marcus. Everything you have, this office, this lifestyle, your precious country club membership, it all exists because of Sterling Industries." "My company." "Our company," Marcus corrected, stepping closer with newfound boldness. "Community property laws are quite clear in California. I've been your partner in building this empire for 15 years. The laugh that escaped Victoria's lips was sharp and humorless. "Partner? You've been CFO in name only for the past 5 years, Marcus. Your biggest contribution lately has been approving expense reports and playing golf with potential investors while I handle the actual work." Marcus's facade began to crack, revealing the anger beneath his polished exterior. "You think you're so superior, don't you? Miss Perfect CEO, who never makes a mistake. Well, here's a newsflash. Victoria Amanda appreciates me for who I am, not what I can do for her career." "Amanda appreciates your access to my money and connections," Victoria shot back. "Tell me, does she know about the gambling debts you've been hiding? The $100,000 you've been siphoning from our joint accounts to cover your losses in Monte Carlo?" Marcus's confident mask slipped completely, his face flushing red. "You had me investigated? I investigate all my investments, Marcus. And you've become a very poor one." Victoria moved to her desk and picked up a legal document with practiced efficiency. "I've already filed for divorce. You have 24 hours to remove your personal belongings from our home. You can't just throw me out." Marcus exploded, his voice echoing off the glass walls. "I know where all the bodies are buried in this company, Victoria. The offshore accounts, the tax strategies, the deals that push ethical boundaries. You need me more than you think." Victoria's smile was arctic. "Actually, Marcus, I don't. You see, while you've been playing house with Amanda, I've been restructuring Sterling Industries. As of this morning, your access to all company systems has been revoked, and your CFO position has been terminated for cause." The color drained from Marcus's face as the full implications hit him. "You can't do this. I'll fight you every step of the way. Amanda and we're not going to let you destroy us." "Amanda?" Victoria raised an eyebrow. "Your devoted girlfriend doesn't know about the divorce papers yet, does she? Or about the fact that her employment contract includes a very specific morality clause regarding relationships with married executives?" Before Marcus could respond, Victoria's intercom buzzed. Her assistant's voice came through clearly. "Mrs. Sterling, Miss Chun is here to see you. She says it's urgent." Victoria's smile widened, predatory and satisfied. Perfect timing. Send her in. The office door opened again, and Amanda Chun entered with the confidence of a woman who believed she held all the cards. Tall and elegant. In her designer dress, she carried herself with the poise of someone who'd climbed from a working-class background to the executive floors through a combination of intelligence, determination, and strategic relationships. "Victoria," Amanda said with false sweetness, "I think we should clear the air about Marcus and me. He's told me everything about your ... arrangement. Has he now?" Victoria's voice was dangerously quiet. "And what exactly did he tell you?" Amanda moved to stand beside Marcus, slipping her arm through his in a show of unity. "That your marriage has been over for years. That you've both been living separate lives. And that he's ready to start fresh with someone who actually loves him." Victoria observed the couple with clinical detachment, like a scientist studying specimens under a microscope. How romantic. "And I suppose this fresh start includes your recent engagement?" Amanda's confidence faltered slightly, but she recovered quickly. "Marcus proposed last week. We're planning a summer wedding in Napa Valley." "Using what money?" Victoria asked mildly. "What do you mean?" Amanda's voice carried the first hint of uncertainty. Victoria gestured to the photographs on her desk. "These were taken by a private investigator, Amanda. The same investigator who's been documenting Marcus's gambling addiction and the company funds he's been embezzling to support it." Amanda's face went pale, but Marcus stepped forward aggressively. "You're bluffing, Victoria. You can't prove any of that, can't I?" Victoria opened her laptop and turned the screen toward them. Financial records filled the display, transaction logs, bank statements, and wire transfers that painted a damning picture of Marcus's illegal activities. $50,000 to cover poker debts in Las Vegas, $30,000 for roulette losses in Atlantic City, $20,000 to a bookie in Miami, all traced back to Sterling Industries accounts. Amanda stared at the screen in horror, then turned to Marcus. "You told me you inherited money from your aunt. You said that's how you could afford the ring, the trips." "Amanda, I can explain," Marcus began, but she stepped away from him as if he'd struck her. "You've been stealing from the company?" Her voice was barely a whisper. "From your own wife's company? It's not stealing." Marcus exploded. "I helped build this empire. I deserve my share." Victoria closed the laptop with a soft click. "Your share, Marcus, is whatever the divorce courts decide you're entitled to, after accounting for the funds you've stolen and the community property laws. You seem to think work in your favor. Spoiler alert, they don't, especially when one spouse has been committing felonies." Amanda looked between Victoria and Marcus, her ambitious facade crumbling as the reality of her situation became clear. This is impossible. Marcus, tell her she's wrong. Tell her you didn't steal that money. Marcus's silence was answer enough. Victoria picked up another document from her desk, Amanda's employment contract. Speaking of impossible situations, Amanda, let me refresh your memory about Section 12 of your employment agreement. It specifically prohibits romantic relationships with married executives. Violation results in immediate termination and forfeiture of all benefits, including your stock options. You can't fire me for falling in love. Amanda protested, but her voice lacked conviction. I can fire you for violating your contract, Victoria replied calmly, and for the conflicts of interest that relationship created. Tell me, how many confidential board meetings did you attend as Marcus's guest? How many strategic documents did you review that were above your clearance level? Amanda's face flushed as she realized the trap closing around her. That was just Marcus wanted my input on corporate strategy that wasn't your responsibility? Victoria finished. That's called corporate espionage, Amanda, another terminable offense. The room fell silent except for the sound of rain against the windows and the quiet hum of the building's climate control system.